Ever wonder what's the true cost of saying goodbye to a loved one? Well, today we're going to take a deep dive into the financial cost of saying goodbye. So let's find out what's the real cost of saying goodbye. Stay tuned. All right, so good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone that's watching. My name is Nikki, and welcome back to my channel here at No Limit Nikki, where I believe there's no limit to your success. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to take a deep dive in the financial cost of saying goodbye to a loved one. Yes, there's an emotional grief when a loved one passes on, but no one talks about the aftermath. No one talks about the financial burden that it may cause on a family. So today we're going to take a deep dive as far as to how much does it really cost for a burial, for a cremation? How much does it really cost for earth burial as well? Okay. So I'm actually going to share my screen because, all right, so let's go ahead and okay, you guys. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at this article here from, as you can see, the National Funeral Directors Association. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go over the statistics. So as far as the earth burial and cremation. And I wanted to do this video so you will know how to prepare, right? All right, so here we see cremation versus burial. So according to the NFDA's 2024 cremation and burial report, the 2024 cremation rate is projected to be 61.9%, and the burial rate is projected to be at 33.2%. So by 2000, get this, you guys, by 2045, the cremation rate is expected to reach 82.1% by 2045. Okay. So this is based off of the numbers from 2023. So the numbers from 2024, I believe, is not in yet. I did try to research another article. So I'll get, as soon as I get those numbers, I'll come back and let everyone know. But this is based off of 2023. The average cost of a funeral, the national median of a funeral with a viewing and burial was $8,300, while the median of a funeral with cremation was $6,280. So this number is just based off of the average median. So obviously, as you know, depending on where you are in the world, I am in the United States. So depending on where you live in the United States, it can be higher and it can be lower. It just really depends, right? But that's just the average median. Now, we do know the interest of a green funeral option, according to NFDA in NFDA's 2024 Consumer Awareness and Preference Report shows 68% will be interested in exploring a green funeral option because of their potential environmental benefits, cost savings. So I'm not going to lie, you guys. So when I was looking this up, I was like, well, first of all, what is a green funeral option? So just to let everybody know, green burial minimizes like negative environmental effects, include foregoing embalmings, skipping concrete vaults, rethinking burial containers, and maintaining and protecting the natural habitat. So choices can be made to each step of the death care process to limit waste, reduce carbon footprint, and also even nourish the local ecosystem with a green burial. So like embalming, vaults, and coffins can be expensive with the national median, like we stated, which was $8,500. replacing them with their options of scraping them altogether to save money. So the extent of how a green burial can be is up to the individual. The service can be as simple as wrapping the deceased in a cotton shroud before lowering them into the ground. The services can also become more complicated, involving a memorial ceremony and burial in a conservation park like Washington's Green Acres, where families can choose to plant a variety of plants, flowers, and shrubs on the grave. So these aren't entirely new ideas, but the funeral traditions of many religions, for an example, are in line up with these steps, right? So why would anyone want a green burial? Um, it just depends on the person. It just really depends on the person. And I'll link an article from the New York Times that goes into detail as far as a green burial. But let's just go back into this article here from the NFDA. So non-traditional funeral locations. Let me see here. Okay, so let's go over the economic impact. So, funeral homes are vital businesses that contribute to our nation in ways both seen and unseen. Nearly 76.2 of the funeral homes are family or privately owned. So, there are more than 15,000 funeral homes in the US, which employ over 106,000 people. So, funeral homes generate a total of 16.096 billion in the United States, while cremators and cemeteries generate 4.2 billion in revenue. You guys, 16.09%, I'm sorry, 16.096 billion dollars in the United States for funeral homes generate a total. I mean, it makes sense. It definitely makes sense. It costs to bring a life into this world, and guess what? It costs to bury somebody, to give them a proper home going. Now here, 20,000. So NFDA members founded. So the NFDA was founded in 1982. If anybody is wondering, the NFDA is the largest association in the world for the funeral service professions and is dedicated to supporting its members in their mission to provide families and meaningful of life services at the highest risk of excellence and integrity. Actually, one of my agents, she was a funeral director. So I will see if I can schedule where she can join and we can maybe have a live session with her. And that way everyone can ask, like for those individuals that's interested of asking questions, because she will know more. She's been more hands-on with families. And so she can actually give us great insight as far as the steps that someone have to take in order to plan a homegoing, because it is a lot, you guys. It is a lot. So why did I want to come on here and actually go over the statistics of how much it is, well, the average median right now? The reason why I wanted to come on is because so many people, like life, like tomorrow's not promised to anyone. So you want to be prepared because we all are going to pass away. We just don't know when. So you want to be prepared, not only for, you want to be prepared so that way your family won't have to go through the financial burden, right? And so now that we know what the average median is, my recommendation is, I always recommend making sure you have at least $15,000 of whole life coverage to take care of an earth burial based off of today's needs, the final expenses. And if you know that you want to be cremated, have at least a $10,000 whole life policy. Now, some people may say, well, Nick, why not, Nikki, you're not suggesting, why you're not suggesting a $15,000 term policy? Hey, whatever is within your budget right now, go ahead and do it. I just know that when you are older, you may not be eligible for life insurance in general based off of your health. And then when you wait until you older to get life insurance, due to your age, whatever age you're at, it's going to cost more regardless. It's going to cost more for a term policy, and it's going to cost more for a whole life. I just always recommend to take care of the final expenses, so that way your family will receive the funds immediately. I just recommend a whole life policy. That's it. I'm always going to recommend a whole life policy to do that, just to take care of the final expenses. Now, one thing that this article did not touch on is inflation, you guys. So you always, and we spoke on inflation on my last video. So you can go back and watch my last video as well. We went into detail with inflation, but it's very important to make sure, let's just say you are 30 years of age right now, and you're like, you know what, you're just now starting a family, new family. You recently got married 2 years ago. Y'all just had your firstborn child. And you're like, I want to protect my family. I want to make sure that if anything happens to either one of us, nobody is placed in a financial burden, or it won't cause our family to go into a financial hardship. I just want to make sure that everything will be taken care of. Well, if you are that person, then I strongly recommend you getting at least bare minimum a $30,000 whole life policy, because you want to make sure that your family is prepared for the future. So why wait until you're older to get life insurance when you can prepare now? So that way, when you are older, you're covered, right? You don't have to prepare. You've already planned while you was younger, because we're all going to leave this earth. We are. That's just guaranteed. Nobody's going to live forever, right? Our souls live forever, but our body doesn't. So you want to just take a look into it. So I just thought this was interesting, and I wanted to put everything in perspective. And I'm a visual learner, and I figured, why not just share this article so people can see exactly like how much it is. Again, don't wait until you're older to get it. Now, is $15,000 going to be enough to take care of your final expenses? Yes, based off today's needs. But you have to think about also, well, if you're the primary breadwinner, how, like, when you pass, your income is gone forever. So think about how your family is going to continue to pay the bills. You have to think about this stuff, you guys. You cannot be selfish. And a lot of people think that their jobs is going to save them. Nobody is going to save you. Nobody is going to save you. That's why it's just best to go ahead and be prepared. Okay, so that way your family will have, it's best to go ahead and be prepared so you can have everything in order for your family, so they won't have to they won't have to ever worry about or have anxiety as far as, well, how we're going to pay our bills, how we're going to pay rent, how we're going to pay mortgage, because that is not going to stop when you pass away. They're still going to have to pay rent. They're still going to have to pay the mortgage. They're still going to have to pay the car note. They're still going to have to pay their insurance. They're still going to have to send the kids to school. They're still going to have to buy clothes for the kids. They're still going to have to pay for the extracurricular activities. Well, if your income is gone, how in the world are they going to be able to afford it? So plan now, plan today. All right. So it is No Limit Nikki. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop down your questions below in the comment section. And please like, share, and subscribe this video. Y'all have a good one. Later, squad.